It takes in like all these like different aspects, and he has a pet monkey, which is kind of cool.
Welcome to Chocolate Smoov and Chappsticc.
DJ noises. All right, we are here. We are here with John from Collectors Comics.
How you doing?
It is on, to be exact, it is on US 1 and
8449 South Federal Highway.
8449 South Federal Highway on US 1, right next to other places. Come on down.
That's the best shout out we've ever done.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I'm honored.
Very planned, very strategic. So we're here in this phenomenal comic book store. They got all kinds of goodies.
Thank you.
And we are here to talk comics.
All right, let's do it.
So we can get right into it because I think the first, right off the bat, of the obvious question is, what's your favorite superhero?
Probably like all time, I'd have to go with Spider-Man.
Okay.
I just, as a kid, like I just kind of related. Like he was like funny and
With the quick whips and
right.
the quips basically.
Well, you know, he's obviously stronger than your average human, but he would fight dudes like the Rhino that were like ginormous.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think he'd have any business beating, but he would get in their heads, like calling them names and
That's
stuff like
true.
that. Like he was kind of
It's
jerky.
psychological, man. It's psychological.
I mean, his first evil bad guy was a lizard in a sewer, basically, right?
Not the first, but yeah. I think
who was his first bad guy?
the first like super villain that he ever fought in Amazing #1 was the Chameleon, who was just a guy who put on different masks. I mean, that was his superpower. He put on a mask and like pretended.
And he had like no nose, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He just had like a white face.
Yep.
I can put on disguises.
Right, which totally fooled everybody.
Yes.
Including the Fantastic Four.
And he did. He was like one of those guys like that talked like that. Is like yes, like he tried to have,
You're going back to the lizard guy. 'Cause he has a lizard name.
Well, not the S part, not the like, but that's just a lisp. Like,
That's just your list.
yeah, I'm just slowly retarded.
He talks like this.
Yeah.
Don't you always talk like
He had speech problems when he was a kid.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's why he became a supervillain. Also, he was Russian, so he had to double down.
Yeah.
Oh god, Russian
So-
accent and a lisp.
Yeah. Aren't all Russian people supervillains?
Can I say the F word on this?
Yeah. Say whatever you want.
he's
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
He had to do it. He had no other life choice.
Nice. Okay. So Spider-Man. Now, isn't Spider-Man like the most powerful superhero, or of the Marvel world?
Probably most popular, like most recognizable.
Yeah.
I would go with.
Not the most powerful though.
Most power. That's tough. That's a whole other argument. Man.
Okay.
That's
So are
talking
you-
multiversal or?
Well, no. So now I guess that's an easy question. But are you a Marvel over DC?
Again, as a kid, I was always Marvel. Now I just look for
Anything.
anything that jumps out at me, like any
Yeah.
stories that grab me. That I mean, when I was a kid, anything you put in front of me, I'd read, and sometimes it would like shock me, and sometimes But as an adult, I kind of look for like in-depth stories, engaging stuff. Like, and there are different writers now that I'll look for in different comics.
Okay.
So not necessarily characters. It could be any character.
And that's actually super important to actually think about, to like find a comic that you like and then see who wrote that comic, and then you probably like other stuff that he does, right? Yeah, for sure.
No,
Yeah.
like I think like Tom King, or and like I think he did like a run of Batman.
Well, a huge run. He just stopped on issue number 85. So he did
85,
85 issues straight,
Yeah.
which is
Wow.
impressive.
Yeah.
But why'd you get that 15 issue like cut, man?
Well, he had planned, I believe, to do about 100 issues.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people were. He took a lot of heat for some of his storylines.
True.
Like some of it. I'm not a huge Tom King fan in the regard that like my Batman is like, the master of order. Like where his Batman is more like, I really love Catwoman and I'm gonna cry a little. And, what I mean? Like that's not my Batman.
Well, it's like a story part of it though.
I get it.
He tells a different story.
Every writer tells a different story about every character, so sometimes you agree with it, sometimes you don't. You have the option to buy the book, you have the option not to.
Of course.
So,
Man, he is trying to get in Catwoman's pants, though, dude.
So hard.
Every time, this man can get anybody he wants in the world. He's Bruce Wayne. He can literally line them up. Just be like,
Playboy.
ladies, let's
Is that
do it.
Dan Bilzerian? He's like the comic book version.
Yeah.
He could pay ladies just to walk around.
Yep. You're just like, listen, line them up. But he's like, no,
Yeah,
I
weirdo that
want.
dresses up like a cat.
Yeah.
Hey, she's freaky.
A
I like
psycho.
Whips.
and just stealing things. And she likes jewelry. You live in a mansion full of jewelry. This
Wonder why she
lady's
likes you, Bruce.
yeah, dude. Yeah, she's in it for the money, bro. Yeah, and clearly she didn't even have to know you're Bruce Wayne, but you're already Batman, so you gotta have some bread, right? Like you gotta have money.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she's not going for just Robin. You know?
Yeah,
Oh, by
and
the
that
way,
Robin's
she's a
got-
cat burglar?
Yeah.
Okay.
and Robin, he's the boy wonder. She don't want no boy.
I mean, there is like a Tom King. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
there was like a 4-issue, like maybe 2 or 3 issues in a row where just like Batman and Catwoman, like aren't even Batman and Catwoman. They're just on a beach,
Yeah.
like Batman. Oh, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
no,
Yeah,
no,
it's like
it's
them
good,
like
man.
banging on a beach for like
Yeah.
3 issues, and like it was the weirdest thing I've ever read.
It's just
He wants to bang Tom King. Is that his name?
Tom King is the writer.
Tom King wants to fuck Catwoman. That's what it is.
Wow, I
That's
don't
what
blame him,
probably
but-
comes down to it. He's probably like, man, I've thought about this when I was a kid, and he's like, now I can write about it, and nobody can
He's
make
like
me
writing
not.
his fantasies out on
Yeah.
paper and like making this guy draw it.
Yeah, he's sitting in his room, and they all thought I was gonna write about Batman.
Side note, edit out my like of Tom King.
I know you're allowed to like him. I just
No,
So-
he's into fucking furries. That's,
Yeah.
that's all right.
That is true. Like, she actually is a legit furry too, right? Yeah.
I mean, she dresses like a cat.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
she wore
like-
like leather,
she
like
even
latex.
does, like-
there are issues where she
Yeah, that's even.
She does make the noises,
Yeah.
I think.
she does make cat noises
And for the
like
fact
a couple
that she
issues.
wears-
It's a little like
She wears
Yeah.
leather and latex. Okay.
Who hates that?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, she's not a furry. She's a
What's
cat
wrong with
person who
leather,
likes
though?
BDSM. Then, right?
She's
Like,
why I go to comic conventions.
her and Harley
I
Quinn,
kid.
right? Everybody wants to look like her. It's like, yeah, do it.
Everybody wants to, not everybody does.
No.
Don't get me started on that.
Get that one huge girl with the. She's like, look, don't I look like her? Like, you look like you ate 6
I
of
know
her.
you go to the gym.
Yeah.
I don't think those Harley Quinns do.
No,
They
not
hate something from
So, who's your favorite writer?
Oh man, I like all time Alan Moore is my favorite.
Alan
The guy
Moore.
who did like Watchmen and
Okay.
Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
and-
And Watchmen goes deep.
It does. Watchmen's
Watchmen.
a great story.
Yeah.
I would advise anybody, even if you're not in like superheroes, it is a superhero book, but it like is like meta. You know, like it goes above that.
but who watches them?
That is the question that everybody asks.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. And then murders them.
They're coming up with something where they're going to merge Flash and Dr. Manhattan, and they're going to reboot the
What?
entire DC universe. So.
shit.
But my favorite writer now is probably Jonathan Hickman. He's doing the X-Men. He did East of West. He does some good stuff. Brian K. Vaughan, he does a saga. He did Why the Last Man. Have you heard of them? They're indie books. Yeah, they're not real mainstream, but
Good storyline.
Brian K. Vaughan is very good at. Have you heard of Runaways? It was like
Yeah.
the Marvel book, like
Mhm.
kids.
Yeah.
He created that.
Oh.
Very good at like engaging, like making you care about characters that you haven't read about or knew about
Yeah,
before.
that emotional
Uh,
connection.
Speaking of emotional, the only time I ever, no homo, cried reading a comic was the last issue of Why the Last Man. Like it kind of like did like a little future jump and like tied up all the loose ends. Like some people
Okay.
die, and I was like, oh,
This is it. Yeah.
I was like, what am I doing?
Well,
Man, no homo.
that's a
Same thing with
hard
me,
note.
Blue
One-
Beetle and Booster Gold.
Oh.
So I mean, like, he died. They're both at each other's deaths.
Yeah.
And it's just like a weird time travel shit. But it's beautiful. I'm
Well.
tearing up.
That's
Those are
deep.
crocodile
See
tears.
though, that's pretty cool though, to think that like, because also it's a comic and you don't think you're gonna get there, right? And then, but it
just a
can,
story.
yeah, it makes you appreciate it. I do like how people, and I don't know if they did this back then, because when I was a kid, I didn't really read a lot of comics because I probably couldn't read. I don't know. I still can't read.
You still have
I read
problems.
comics for the pictures now, so I'm just like the Dr. Seuss books. Everybody was laughing at me, so I'm like, yeah, I read comics, guys. Now.
It started dyslexia chat.
Yeah, exactly. But like, did
Donate
they
today.
prior? Did they? I feel like back in the olden times, and you guys can correct me, but like, was it all just main character stuff, and now they're kind of breaking into side characters?
It was a lot more. There weren't like now. There's like Marvel, I believe, puts out 100 different comics a month. DC puts about 50 to 60. Back then, like Marvel might have put out like 20. And it was so you didn't have
yeah.
the room to have like a a Robin book and
Yeah. Like all the side characters
Right.
you never heard of, like have their own independent comic books though.
Right.
Oh man, thank goodness for people having nothing to do, right?
Hey man, it's all,
They gave them time to read more.
I mean,
That's pretty cool though.
I think the mainstream of like from the movies and stuff like that. Like when I was in school, like I couldn't tell kids that like, oh, I read Captain Marvel. Do you?
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Captain Marvel. Like, what's wrong with you?
That's a good point. You were a nerd. Now, if you read comics, you're like, oh, dude, you're dope.
Right.
Like, you're the coolest
Right.
person in the room
That's
if you're
what I'm
reading
saying.
comic
I'd
books.
imagine
now,
high
yeah.
school kids go like, oh yeah, I read the latest issue of Supergirl, and then like some girl would say like, Supergirl, where'd you get that? I got the comics. There are comic book stores. like now it's like what? Oh, like when I was a kid, I would never say that to a girl because she'd laugh at me and I'd go home and cry.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, well, not getting laid now.
I said that anyway, but yeah. Give it a reason.
It was for the love of comics, though.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I'd be like, oh yeah, I like sports. Sports are awesome. I do like sports.
I'm not a sports person.
No? And
No.
yeah, you go to a gym.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm
Nothing wrong with staying healthy.
That's just
Yeah.
because I'm conceited and I like myself.
Very
Yeah.
narcissistic.
I'm very
Very
narcissistic.
narcissistic.
Is
Yeah.
it because you like yourself or because you hate
It's all about
yourself?
me. I can't walk, and this is a sad fact. I can't walk past the mirror and not look at myself.
I look at that where that mirror is. I know you can't see right now
Yeah.
on the podcast, but
Thank goodness, because
It's
I
directly
wouldn't.
across from my
I wouldn't
register.
even be looking at you. I'd just be like
That's
this
it.
the whole
That's
time.
what I do all day. I look into the void. I'm just like, man, who's that pretty guy?
Yeah, I do that all the time. I can't do it. Well, my mom calls me an asshole because of it. Every time she'll wait for it and she'll be like,
You have like a
There he
mirror
goes,
on your
there he
wall. You
goes.
like walk by and you're
"This
like,
what?" I'm like, oh shit.
do a
What's up,
double
guy?
take.
Just the opposite. I walk into the bathroom and I look up and oh God,
Avert your
go back
eyes.
to sleep. You need sleep. God, you also need to work out.
I said that
Maybe
before.
tomorrow.
Take down that mirror. So now, I got the memory of a scroll. What was the name of that comic book? The last.
Why the Last Man?
Why the Last Man? What's it about?
Basically, it's kind of weird. This guy wakes up one day. I forget his name starts with a Y, but it's not Y. Whatever dude name starts with a Y. He wakes up and all the men are dead except for him. And it's basically a world of women at that point.
That's
man,
terrifying.
I shouldn't hit this when I'm talking. But really driving that point home.
It's like it's all women and everybody's afraid now.
Piece of shit.
But that's basically the story, and like women basically become these like tribal. Like some women come after him because they think he can prolong the human race. Some women want to stop it, and because they like the world of women. You know what I mean? It takes in like all these like different aspects, and he has a pet monkey, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's dope.
Nice.
That's pretty creepy though, because
That's one upside to this entire story.
If you don't want to read it
Comic
before,
relief.
those
pet monkey.
yeah, that's really the catch right there. You get like a couple pages in and you're like, oh, this is all right. I get like the women are crazy and you're like, oh, he's got a monkey. Never mind. Next book. Next
Keeps you
book.
going.
It's like
What does that monkey
being the
do?
last man on earth.
You're like scrolling through the book first to make sure that the monkey's in this one. He's like, is he in this one? No, I'm skipping it. Fuck it.
That's the beauty of comic books. The cover will lie to you sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
the monkey's on the cover. I gotta read it. There was no monkey in this.
Now, this is going to be a dumb question, but was Johnny Quest a comic book?
Not first. I believe Johnny Quest was a cartoon. They did like the Hanna-Barbera. Like they
Yeah.
made a bunch. Hanna-Barbera made a bunch of cartoons like that were basically ideas that could have been comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you think like Thundercats, that.
Which wasn't Hanna-Barbera, but yes.
Oh, wasn't?
No. But they did. Marvel actually made a Thundercats comic, but it was a cartoon first.
Okay.
So
Well, then what was the one? He-Man.
He-Man, another
He-Man,
one, cartoon
right,
first.
yeah.
Well, actually, a toy first, cartoon.
Yes.
second. So
Man, do you guys? And I know this is a little off topic, but I assume people buy more comics than they do little knickknacks, right?
from here.
Just in general, like you worked at the other place too, right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
'Cause
Most
people
people
go
come
crazy.
here to buy comic books.
Yeah.
My biggest seller are the new comics that come out every Wednesday. So New Comic Wednesday, I get the regulars that come in. They'll put aside hundreds of dollars for the comics they'll buy in a day.
Oh,
I know it sounds
because
like-
they're all new. They're all like the
That's
first
it.
issues,
right? I mean, like if you were watching General Hospital or whatever soap opera still on TV, like
That's true.
if you're a housewife staying home, like it's 1 o'clock. I'm strapping in for this hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same idea. Like these comic books are telling stories for the most part. Like it's been going on since the 60s, 50s.
Okay, I was gonna say, what is the longest running comic? Do you know?
Action Comics.
Action Comics.
Which Action Comics #1 was the first appearance of Superman.
Okay.
And recently, about a year and a half ago, 2 years, Action Comics #1000 came out. which
Oh,
is the
wow.
first comic to ever reach 1,000.
Wow.
And now it's up to like 1,014 or 20 or something.
That's crazy.
Could
though.
easily go look. It's on the wall.
That is a run right there. That is a
1,000.
sick run, yeah.
1,000.
That is a lot of kids reading comic books.
That's a lot of books.
That's a lot. And you know what the thing is too? It's you got to think. I mean, they made that one strand, but like they came up with so many side characters out of that. It's insane.
Oh yeah. Well, I
right?
mean,
Like,
right now, Superman has another book, Superman. There's a Superboy book. There's a Legion of Superheroes
Right,
book
yeah.
that Superboy's in. There's a Supergirl book. There's a Lois Lane book. There's a Jimmy Olsen book.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, they're right up there.
Who
You can
would
see
want to
Jimmy
read
Olsen.
about the guy who was?
Superman's pal? Jimmy
Yeah.
Olsen? Ah,
Dude,
okay.
he's the most famous comic book character of all time.
Is it-
Everybody knows of Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, well, I know who the guy is, but the thing is, I kind of just think he's sold out Superman every time. He's like, let me get the story, bro.
He
And
serves his purpose in the story. I mean, Superman's got to save somebody. It can't be Lois Lane every time.
that's a good point. Yeah, and this
Somebody's
bitch
gotta take a
keeps
picture of
getting taken,
Right.
man.
Somebody's
Yeah,
gotta
that's
take a-
good.
There's a man flying.
Spider-Man did it
I'll take a
himself.
picture.
Yeah. Spider-Man did do it himself.
Yeah.
So maybe Spider-Man is the most powerful.
Yeah, and if you look
He's
back
most
in the day
self-aware.
at like Spider-Man comics, when was Spider-Man made?
Like the 60s. Like
Okay, so
64.
did they
I
have
could be off by
did
years.
they have that where you hit the button and then you had time to run?
It's a good question.
Because
I'm not a camera guy.
because I don't think so, man. I feel like that was something
Yeah,
in like
but like
the
he had like the
80s.
webbing. He could like shoot a web and like
And then hit the button
yeah,
too.
you know, yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of
Oh, you mean while he's fighting a
sure.
so-
I should imagine there were timers. I'm sure they weren't digital.
Ah.
Maybe like
Could be a timer, dude.
yeah, I mean
Yeah, and did he probably had a regular old school camera too.
a regular
Regular old- regular
He didn't
old
have an iPhone to just take
Yeah.
pictures with.
Wouldn't that have been
Flash
easier?
camera.
Do they I guess they should I
Big
guess they
flash.
have to like
That's how he beat most of his villains. That camera flash.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. He's
Sucker
like-
punches him.
Yeah. Got you.
Doc Ock always had them big glasses on, so yeah.
That's why he was the smartest one of them all.
Oh man, who's your favorite supervillain?
Oh man,
It's a good segue right there.
I'm trying to think. Like probably like one you guys wouldn't even know, like the Grim Reaper. Like was probably my
From
all-time-
Billy and Mandy? No.
Nah.
Yeah, because he's
Um,
Jamaican. He's a cool guy.
In the Avengers, there's like the Vision. You know the Vision.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in the comic book, the Vision came about. They gave him Wonder Man, a character, his brainwaves, and because they thought Wonder Man had died in the comic, so Vision basically had Wonder Man's brain, and he wound
Okay.
up marrying the Scarlet Witch. Wonder Man always loved the Scarlet Witch, so it became like this weird love triangle.
Oh, snap.
Wonder Man had a brother who hated his guts because he was like jealous, like that, you know, he inherited all the family wealth and all, and he was the Grim Reaper, and he had like a scythe, obviously.
Scythe,
like,
yeah,
hand.
yeah.
He wasn't like real super. He just had like a cool, like dark costume and like a scythe and
He
a
didn't
purple
have-
cape.
He didn't have any powers, did he?
Not really. He wound up like getting killed, and then
Yeah,
they
no, he
brought him
just
back
had
as a
scythe,
zombie.
though.
Yeah, his scythe had like powers. It could like
feel like
electrocute you.
Oh.
I've
Okay.
seen this loser somewhere.
Yeah,
I
well,
remember
it was
that.
in like the Avengers cartoon. Like if you ever
Yeah.
watched that, he was a
Yeah.
little like.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like a little cameo.
What's your favorite bad guy?
It's a tough one.
Probably God Doom. Lord-
God Doom. Oh,
God Doom.
like Secret
like-
Wars Doom.
Like Battle World.
Battle World Doom. Okay,
Yeah,
so
like-
like went and killed the Beyonders and took their power and
Like,
recreated the universe Doom.
He has total control of everything.
Except
I
for he's still kind of no, spoiler warning. He's still Reed Richards still beating. But no, Doom. Well, not only that, he thought he was acting benevolently, which is
Right.
kind of a cool thing about Doom, is that he's not a bad guy in his own brain.
No,
Yeah, he hates
Yeah.
Reed
he's
Richards,
working
but
to make everything like this works.
Right.
This is the perfect order. This is the way that everything is going.
Yeah, doesn't he have his own
out.
planet? Or his
no.
own island?
Well, he's the king, like, or like leader of his own country, like
Oh, that's what it is. his own country,
Latveria,
yeah.
Latveria. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, which
Yeah.
is I
Oh,
don't
what
know.
a thug move too. He's like, you know what? I keep getting arrested here. I'm gonna just make my own country.
Well, he didn't make it. He actually was from there. He came to America to go to school, and that's where he met that jerk
Oh.
Reed Richards.
Yeah, he stole his woman.
So Doom is actually like the second smartest dude in the Marvel universe.
Wow.
Reed Richards is just an asshole.
Yeah, if you actually
but, like-
bring it down to it, this guy, you know what? history is only written by the winners.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's the
boom.
sad
Well,
part.
in Latveria, Doom is always a winner.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And that place is legit too. It's got security. It's got
Well, he's very ambitious, Doom, where Reed really isn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Reed is happy, like, making things that make everybody's life easier. Like, Doom is like, what can I do to be the best? So he's,
Yeah.
like, trying to capture Galactus and,
Yeah.
pump his power through his country. Like, hey, we don't need nuclear power plants. We have the world eater Galactus powering our country. So
he is one of the who is the smartest?
Reed Richards would be the smartest person in the Marvel Universe.
Really?
Yeah, easily.
But he's a douche.
He's really not. He's like a nice guy. But
He's a nice guy, but just to
Doom,
this
he's
guy,
a douche.
yeah. Yeah.
He's like, stole your girl. Like, I know you liked the Invisible Girl, but...
But we
Yeah.
can blame Reed Richards.
You
for
can't even
almost
see her
creating
boobs,
Doom.
man. Get
I mean,
over
really?
it.
Well, I mean, Reed Richards basically put all his friends in danger by taking them into space for no reason at all, practically.
Hey
and
guys, we're gonna go on a
Yeah.
camping trip.
Yeah.
right.
to orbit.
His girlfriend's brother instantly ignites into flames.
Yep.
His best friend turns into a giant lump
Rock.
of rock.
Yeah, just rocks.
He gets out, makes out like a bandit, can
Yeah.
stretch any part of his
Yeah,
body.
he just got big dick all the time.
I mean,
They're
if I was Reed Richards, I would.
If
He's
I was
pretty smart.
If I was Reed Richards too, I wouldn't save anybody. Like, he's always like, I got you. I'd just be like, whoosh.
Dick Lasso.
Yes, everywhere. Oh, you want to fight?
Well, the question, would you just go raw dog it, or would it be like unstable moleculed like spandex? So you
Oh,
can
it would
stretch
just
it?
be. Oh yeah.
Part of the suit.
You can whip it, right?
Yeah,
Whip
like,
sensors
you can't really complain if it's like in the suit. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah, you're not touching it.
Yeah, like, I'm still- your dick under here, bro.
Yeah, think about it. You gotta go to prison now, knowing that you got choked out by this guy's dick
Oh,
too.
man, that's
Yeah.
the worst.
Can I
Yep.
talk to FFHR, please?
Stan Lee died.
Oh man,
So
how crazy is that? I never thought I was going.
he was getting up there for sure.
Oh, is he 1,000? Jesus.
Approximately.
He looked
Four,
it.
nine.
He looked like he was 1,000.
Pretty sure he wasn't moving much.
Yeah. And his wife, like bebopping around him too. Like, if you ever watch those like documentaries on her,
I think she was already dead too.
Yeah, she's been
Did
dead
she?
for
She
like
might have
5
bebopped right
years.
into the back into the dirt.
Jesus. Well, now I feel like an asshole. I just watched
I
a
didn't know.
documentary about him or something like that,
Yeah?
and she was like, and he's like sitting on a couch, and she's just bringing him food and drinks, and I'm like, what is this thing like?
Sure, that wasn't his
you have
daughter.
a maid?
His daughter looked old.
Oh, did she?
Well, I mean, she was old. I mean,
70.
Oh, that's true
well,
because he was
so old.
yeah,
Exactly.
she's 22.
So you-
No.
she wasn't real attractive, so I could like buy her marrying a 90-year-old dude.
Yeah, that's true. That's
He's actually one of the reasons I really got into comics. When I was a kid, there was this TV show called Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
yes, love it.
Okay, so you know of it.
That
It's
is-
Iceman and Firestar.
Yes, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he would do the intro, and he'd be like, "Hello, true believers," and do like the whole Stanley Excelsior. I'm like, this dude, where
He
is
gets
this guy?
me, yeah.
Like, I really want to watch Spider-Man now. So,
Oh, man, what
it got you all hyped and stoked for it.
Probably one of the greatest cartoons ever on the planet in my mind. I loved it.
Oh, it was a great.
Every morning I'd watch. What is it? Every Sunday morning it would come on.
Yeah,
Saturday
morning,
mornings. Yeah.
I thought you guys would be a little too young for that. But
Nope.
that's
I
awesome.
used to watch it all the time.
It actually was like a half and half with like the Incredible Hulk. It had not as many episodes, but I think Hulk fought Doom one time.
Yeah.
Favorite episode? Episode 1 where he fights the Juggernaut.
A great episode.
As-
Did you ever see they did a crossover with X-Men? They tried to make an X-Men cartoon
Yes.
where
Yeah.
Wolverine was Australian, not Canadian.
Yeah.
So we did the old like shrimp on the bobby accent. I can't do it.
Is that why they?
Why did I attempt that?
Oh snap! Is that why they got Hugh Jackman there?
Well,
They were like, we need.
unironically,
Yeah.
an Aussie wound up playing
Wow.
the Canadian later,
Oh,
but
wow, it's ridiculous.
What disrespect! We need a Canadian. Canadians can do anything.
Illuminati.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Free healthcare, my ass.
Yeah.
Stand in this line for 18 days.
Oh yeah, their health care is terrible. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I don't. We're not even gonna get into that. We're talking about
You don't even know
comics.
big
This is
political talk in a comic
shit,
show?
man, Canada. I love Canadians. You guys are funny. And the thing is, in comedy, it's like you either are Canadian or a Jew.
Canadian bacon,
Yeah, like-
real thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's BS too. Like
Damn.
the English call biscuits cookies biscuits.
The English just
Yeah.
have weird words for everything.
Shut your mouth and call it a cookie.
Fish and chips,
Yeah. No.
Man.
no chips.
No chips. No
French
chips.
fries, you guys.
What do you even call chips?
French fries. Their chips are French fries. It makes no
that's
sense.
disgusting.
And they call like actual chips something else, like crisps. Yeah. Shut up. I don't even
Drink your tea.
Yeah.
You don't even
tea breaks all day.
Right. Jeez.
England. No wonder why they lost the Revolutionary
Bunch of
War.
lazy bastards.
Right.
Lazy bad drinking chamomile tea all day.
Yeah.
Earl Grey. I like Earl Grey.
Friggin'.
That's the
I'm
Star
sorry,
Trek.
England. I really do apologize. I didn't mean it.
I'm not sorry. Change your
You
cookies
got
to
bad teeth.
Change your biscuits to cookies. Damn it. I like English people. I think some English women are hot.
like everybody. They're
Well,
better out there.
Don't get me wrong. I like everybody. I like English accent. I'm like, that guy's
Yeah.
cool. But I don't
They
like.
sound smart.
But I don't like people though. You said, I like everybody. I don't like anybody, to be honest. Yeah, I don't. That's why I like doing stand up, because you're on stage and nobody's near you.
Yeah, but imagine
They
a
can't
British
touch you.
person talking in the middle of your you'd feel bad because you'd be like, does this person know what they're talking about? They have a British shut up.
Yeah, shut up, biscuits. Yeah, that's actually
Like a
good. If
code
an
word?
English person ever heckles me, I'm like, shut your mouth, biscuits.
Use that. You can use that.
Yeah, it's a cookie. All right, shut the fuck up.
So what do they call biscuits? See, this starts a whole
this
snowball
is-
effect.
Yeah, bread. They just call it a bread. Yeah, it's all bread. They don't defer
What do they
like
call
a
bread?
loaf of bread. They just
So confusing.
yeah. Why are they so backwards? Jeez, they were first and they can't even get it right.
How did we mess it up then?
Yeah.
Did we just say, hey, this is stupid, we're fixing
It's
this?
the Native Americans. They did it to us. It's all their fault.
Introduced us to corn. It was corn and tobacco, game over.
Yeah.
So.
No. Yeah, I always like to let him know that he's a Native American. An Indian.
What percentage are we talking here?
It's like 25.
That's pretty good. You should
And-
be getting money from the government.
And right? And you can't say Injun,
Loophole.
right? That's like saying the N-word, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, but it's not as
Wow.
bad.
Indian is just like Indian, right? It's just like a accent. Indian
Yeah.
with an accent.
Like the cowboy.
That's what I think.
Like I could see calling somebody a redskin and being like a little offended.
Yeah.
Like a little, not crazy
Yeah.
offended.
And
but
they
like,
should never change. Are they the Redskins still?
Yeah, they are.
They're still
Yeah.
the Redskins.
Oh yeah, didn't the guy come out and say he's like it'll
Well-
stay the same till I die?
What they keep doing is polling like Native Americans, and the
Yeah, of
vast
course they're
majority
gonna
don't give
say
a
no.
shit.
Yeah, they're like, I don't care. We got casinos,
It's these
man.
like uppity white people who won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that is
So-
true. It is people that it has nothing to do with that are like, you can't do that, and it's like, shut up.
Have you not
Karen?
seen like, the Caucasian shirt? Like, like instead of like it has like the Indians like from baseball guy like.
Oh yeah.
It says Caucasians. And there's like a little white guy with a big old smile on his face. So.
Oh, and they still use that, right? They're still the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, they haven't changed any.
Yeah.
They might have changed something like on some small schools. Like.
Now I know that there is a football team that changed their mascot. It's a college team,
Yeah.
and they changed their mascot to like this weird like anteater thing.
Yeah.
But it was an Indian guy that would run around on the ground like with a tomahawk and everything. Probably a white guy too.
Like I don't even know what the worst thing you can call an Indian is. So.
Well, let's ask him. Indian,
Do you know all
Indian,
the-
Redskin. No, we're just gonna go
Yeah,
through
we're
them
just
until he's
saying team names. Chief.
After you rape, pillage,
Yeah.
a couple 99 million people, it really doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, like what's the worst you could possibly say to me out of that?
Yeah, that
I
is
already-
true.
I already cried my solidarity tear.
Trail of Tears. Yeah, you
Yes,
did
stop
walk and
littering,
cry a lot. Yeah,
assholes.
yeah, yeah. That is true. We created plastic. Indians didn't create plastic.
So what, is that a good thing?
That's not good.
Plastic?
No, I'm saying plastic technically is a terrible thing, but
Yes.
it was a good thing at one point.
Well, it's
Well,
good for
I mean-
has its uses, I guess.
We found out it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
Is
After we
is
killed all the
latex?
seals
Oh,
in water.
latex isn't made of any plastic. It's made of latex. I'm an idiot.
Well, again, now we're veering into the scientific.
Yeah, let's get into comic books.
Yeah,
Let's
so
get into
I
comic
got a
books.
question.
Superheroes wear latex.
That is true.
So I do see that you have like a couple Green Lantern figurines in front of me, so that's gonna pose a question. What kind of ring would you get? Out of the whole spectrum,
Well,
out of
I take green. Like I hate to be like generic,
No,
but
but that's totally okay because it's willpower. That's
Yeah.
you can do anything.
Right, like that's 100% dependent on yourself. Like all the other ones kind of depend on other
They
things.
don't have drawbacks like the Red Lantern ring. Oh, you get rage and you vomit lava.
I mean, you gotta literally vomit out your insides. It's like raging hot.
And
Yeah, like
if I lose the
magma.
ring, I
Hold on, wait,
die.
what? So they do that.
So your
just-
heart comes
is
out
that
and
a
everything.
trick, or is that when you get the ring? That's what happens.
When you get the ring, like I mean, the Red Lanterns are like super strong, but you are basically dead if you take off the ring because like you regurgitate all your like you're filled with rage at that point. Like you're filled with like.
You replace
It's
your
like
insides with
napalm
rage.
blood.
Yes.
Oh, that's
It's
pretty.
funny
cool.
you mentioned
That's
that because
wicked.
my boss had who Ethan Van Sciver is. He's a pretty hot like online personality on YouTube and stuff.
Okay.
He's a good comic book artist, great comic book artist. And at the time, he was doing the Green Lantern Rebirth art, and my boss had him in the shop, and he was like, "Hey, put me into a comic." My boss is actually in the Sinestro Corps.
What?
In comics. Yeah, so do me for one.
Are you gonna
favor,
whip it out?
Talk among.
All right, whip it out. No, it's fine. You
Just
can
ask
go
me
ahead,
how
do
to
your
do
thing.
that, dude.
Do your thing.
Yeah,
Dude, this place
so-
is really cool though. You're gonna have to look at it after.
No, man,
So-
I'm looking at it right now.
Again, this is like probably the worst thing I could do for a podcast.
No,
No,
it's
it's
fine. We
fine.
can explain it. We can
But
describe.
my boss's name is Keith Mallow. Okay. And here is what he looks like.
Oh my
I only
gosh.
remember, and his name is Mallow. And if you'll see, there's a little shout out to their stronghold, Fort Pierce.
Oh, what?
So
Got the local in it.
yeah. So
Holy crap.
and this is like just. This wasn't even the first appearance. His first appearance was actually in the Sinestro Corps Wars book. It was drawn. This is Ethan Van Sciver's art. Good artist.
That is. Oh no, it is.
And then there's another book where they cut his head off, where like they stop kind of
God.
using him, and there's like Mallow, and somebody just lops his head right off.
That
Well, I
is
mean, just like every great comic book character, you gotta die at least once.
Hey, always come back.
Yeah.
It's a comic book.
Oh, that's really awesome. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's like a
kinda
privilege in life to say that you're in a comic book. Holy crap.
Yeah, but Ethan Van Sciver, who has gone back and like reviewed some of his comic books online now, is actually kind of mad at my boss because I guess to put him in the comic, my boss promised to buy like X amount of books, like 1,000, he said,
Oh,
which is
God.
an insane number to buy for
Yeah.
for Pierce.
Mhm.
You know, like to have 1,000 people walk through your
Yeah, he's
door.
just gonna have to start giving them out just because with his
Right.
signing them or
Right,
something.
and you
yeah.
gotta buy them all. Like it's not like they just give them to you for
Yeah,
free.
exactly.
Like we have to buy every
You
book
gotta
that
take
comes
that
in.
hit, man.
Right. So I think he bought like 250, which is
Yeah.
a lot. Like which is
Yeah.
a lot of books.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You said you'd buy 1,000," and kind of. He's like, "You could have sold that book for $15 each." Like, yeah, but how many?
How many
If I have
people are-
2,000 of them, like I can only sell so many. Like
That's crazy.
so.
That's a good. Yeah. Well, hey, too late now.
He's
Right?
there.
Too late. You can't take it out.
Immortalized.
Yes.
And he's digital now. It's all
That is crazy. That is wow.
It's
That's,
cool, it's cool.
That is really cool. That is super cool.
Yeah, my boss is actually, like I said, you would actually. My boss is way more interesting than I am.
We can do him later.
Yeah, and he
Not
has,
like
he has
that.
a way cooler voice and a soothing voice. He'll put he has like an ASMR voice when he's talking about comic books. Like
We were talking about it.
yeah. So you can whisper to him and he'll be like, "Well, comic books are an American art form." Like, oh, this is great.
Take a nap. That's actually the opposite of what we're looking for: is people napping while they
We're
listen to
talking
our
about
podcast.
stretchy dicks, obviously.
Let's talk about the important stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, so now tell me about these rings, because now I got to know, because I don't really know a lot about Green
Well, they
Lantern.
say the blue ring is actually the most powerful in the ring spectrum, but the drawback is that to be the most powerful, you actually need a green ring to
Yeah.
power it, or it's not that powerful at all.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
It's like
It's
a
like-
power up to the Green Lantern ring, but you also become you have to be like
Like you can rejuvenate a planet, but like it takes the willpower of a green ring to power the hope of the blue ring.
you
Oh,
only
so then that
have the
ring
most
is...
Right.
I got you. That's cool. So if you're a Green Lantern and then you stumble upon this ring, then you're extra powerful.
Well, the thing is, like, you have to have great amounts. Like, just to be a Green Lantern, you have to be able to power your ring through hope. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, Green Arrow at one point picked up a Green Lantern ring and tried to shoot an arrow with it, and it just like kind of like bloop, because like he just doesn't have the willpower necessary
Yeah.
to power the ring. Like Hal Jordan and John Stewart and Guy Gardner, those guys are like willful. Sometimes a-holes, but you know, like, don't, like fear isn't an issue with them. You know what I mean? Like,
they'll
so
just do power through anything because they have to.
Right.
That's who they are.
Okay.
right, like
yeah.
fear is not an issue for Green Lanterns, and that's why the Sinestro Corps was like this uprising of their rings run on fear and instilling fear in people. So like, the more scared they can make the people around them, the more powerful their rings are.
Oh, and so but up against the Green Lantern, they're useless, basically.
Well, not necessarily, because not all Green Lanterns are fearless. I mean, the greatest of the Green Lanterns know no fear.
Okay,
You know what I mean? Like Hal Jordan.
got you.
But even then, if you're taken by surprise, I mean, anybody can know fear.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, somebody sneaks up behind you and hits you in the face.
I mean, like the tactics they used when they introduced like the Sinestro Corps was like they used like snipers. You know what I mean? Like, so it wasn't just like they're gonna run up on you on your ring. Like a yellow bullet from a ring will like take you out from like half a galaxy away, and you're just like, what? How did that Green Lantern just die? And then all of a sudden the guy next to them, who's a Green Lantern, gets a little scared. So all of a sudden he's out in space and wait, maybe I can't breathe as much now. You know what I mean? Like I'm not in this like protective.
Oh, snap!
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like they introduce like all this stuff, which is like that's why comic books now are like a lot deeper than like yellow is the weakness of green.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Green Lanterns can't affect wood for some
Right.
reason.
Right. Well,
Don't
the original Green Lantern was wood. After that, they made it yellow, but they also they did a great job of explaining why yellow was Parallax, this like yellow fear entity. They trapped it in the Green Lantern battery. So for a long time, it wasn't like common knowledge that it was a retcon, was what they call it. Like later, they made it this, but they were like, oh well, that's why our rings are weak to yellow, because we are storing the yellow, like the fear demon, in our battery, so our rings don't work against the color yellow. And that's why the Sinestro Corps rings were all yellow.
Gotcha,
So
and it kind of segued into Sinestro.
Exactly.
Thing.
Well, Sinestro, like at one point, had gotten a yellow ring that could work against Green Lanterns, and then they again retconned that into we're going to give all these yellow rings to all these like scary people, like my boss.
He just walks around here with a ring, and he's like,
a scary
"Do
dude.
do it." Point a ring at you.
Stop! All right, I'll do that. I do. I live in I'm like, don't call, please.
I'll do the paperwork.
Stop making me work.
Yeah. So there's only 3 types of rings?
Now there's a spectrum, like Roy G. Biv.
I got you.
And there's a white one, and there were black ones.
Oh, so it goes
they kind of got carried away.
I think they're just making shit up now.
Oh, you mean they were making stuff up about the comic books?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I mean, it was a popular storyline when they started introducing. They called it the emotional spectrum, and all the rings ran on different emotion, like willpower, fear, love, hate.
That's a crappy
greed.
one, love, right? You don't want the love one, then you get a divorce or somebody breaks your arm.
It's funny because they say that alone, the love and the which is violet, the Biv, and the the Roy, the red, they're like the two ends of the spectrum are the two most powerful, like alone, because like they're so, but they also make you the craziest. You know what I mean? Like so, if you're a violet lantern, well they call them the star sapphires, or if you're a red lantern, you're like the most unstable. Like where green is in the middle, you're the most like stable. Will.
Like my girlfriend.
There you go. She's a star sapphire.
She's a red lantern.
Oh, she's ouch.
That's awesome.
I hope she doesn't listen to this.
That's okay.
I don't think she does.
She doesn't have the internet. She's in Canada.
She's still waiting to get a tooth pulled.
No, I mean it was a very popular story, and then they did Blackest Night where they introduced like Black Lantern rings.
Yeah.
And they saved like all the bad, like even like the bad guys had to team up with like the Green Lanterns to stop these. Like the black rings were basically reanimating like dead superheroes, and they were coming back. And
Think of everybody who's ever died in a comic book, came back to life, and is now against you. Anybody that they kill is coming up against you. Get their own black ring.
Oh, so that's where they got the White Walkers from.
Kinda.
They stole that.
Well, I mean, it's a superhero zombie story where it's
more like a
the
zombie.
ring just
That's
lands
crazy,
on you, and you're just coming out of the dirt like.
Oh, that's how. Oh, so
The
it's
ring-
not
the ring-
one guy that does everything.
Well,
it's,
there's Necron, which would have been like the Parallax, like.
Okay, yeah. Of the
So
Black
there's like the
Lantern.
Black Lantern, like God basically,
Yeah.
right. And then underneath him would have been like the Black Hand, who kind of started the whole like black. Like he was the one.
He passed out the rings, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, the Anti-Monitor from Crisis on Infinite Earths, like, who was actually one of the Sinestro Corps members at one point, died and became like the Black Lantern, like the big Black Lantern that powered all the other Black Lantern rings that got sent out. It was kind of a weird story, but
I'm looking over here, and I don't mean to interrupt, but the Mandarin.
Yeah, the Mandarin.
What's that? What's he from?
He's
I mean, he's in the Avengers, but he's in
an Iron Man villain. He was in Iron Man 2. Ben Kingsley played him.
Okay.
Remember the dude with the whips, right?
Oh!
No. He has 10 rings.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the Mandarin in Iron Man 2, he was more of like a con artist. Like he wound up being an actor. Like Ben Kingsley was like, I'm just an actor. They're saying in like maybe some of these new TV shows that Marvel's producing for Disney Plus that you might find out that there really was a different Mandarin, that he was basically playing a role, and the Mandarin might not have liked the fact that Ben Kingsley was playing the Mandarin.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There's like a little 5-minute like clip that has who's it? The dude in like Justin Hammer. It was also he was the guy that powered the guy with the whips, gave him like the suit of armor. He was like Tony Stark's. Like,
he's the opposite Tony
Stark
guy.
He was like the business guy. He came out dancing and everything.
Yeah.
Well, he's in jail with the Mandarin, with Ben Kingsley.
Gotcha.
And like basically, there's an interview like this going on, and in the middle of the interview, like this guy starts pulling out like his like camera and turns in like a gun. He takes the guy prisoner, kills everybody in the room, and he's like, I'm sent from the 10 rings, and he's like, we don't appreciate you, And they take Ben Kingsley. Hostage.
Snap!
So.
Oh, that's deep.
But the Mandarin was originally like a Chinese dude who got these like alien rings that could kind of like one shot fire, one shot like frost, the other one.
Okay, it does different things. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Not a super popular villain, but.
Oh, that's a cool villain though. That's cool. I like that. I like his name's the Mandarin.
I don't think you make Chinese people bad anymore. Are you allowed to do that?
They're doing it themselves. They're all killing each other.
They are the worst.
The wing fling flu virus.
I love Chinese food, so.
I do, yeah. Yeah, I keep calling it the wing fling flu virus, and I think that's probably racist.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you were bringing Coronas.
Yeah, no, I wish.
I got some Bud Lights in there if you guys want to.
I was gonna bring. We always accommodate. Yeah,
Maybe you should give your. It's a good time for a shot.
Yeah, you wanna take a dab of hot sauce, everybody.
On what are you dabbing? Are you
That's what I was
gonna dab it on my finger real quick.
It's pretty liquidy.
I don't want to kill myself.
So I guess we're gonna take an intermediate break to. We haven't smelt it yet, so don't even open it. But
you explained it.
So a gentleman. Has
sounds classy.
Yeah, he is a gentleman, and his hot sauces. He makes hot sauces, and hold on.
How's that smell?
It smells like blueberries.
Can I smell it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
It smells like blueberries and hot.
It doesn't.
It smells hot. You can smell there's a little spice in there.
That one hurt.
Okay, I just wanted to get the correct name of the hot sauce. So
it's called "Oops, I accidentally spilled hot sauce in my blueberry syrup."
No. So it is called Blueberry Madness. It is by Peppers for Christ.
Good reason.
Yes, Peppers for Christ, and they sell hot sauces. And right now we are going to try the Blueberry Madness.
Lipstick is up.
Yep, put it on.
It's chapstick.
Chapstick is
Chapstick.
No, it's not ready.
And you always need
Can I be
chapstick.
lipstick then?
Yeah, you can be lipstick. Yep, how you feel?
That's really great tasting.
You took a
From the look on his face, it looks so good.
Really great tasting.
So good he can't even
tasted
breathe.
great.
Did it taste good?
It did taste like somebody poured blueberry fire down my throat.
Okay, like it.
It
Like
does
it.
hurt.
Okay, good.
Just to elaborate on that, like he poured it into a cap. Like,
Yeah,
he took a cap full,
He
like
did
not just
take
like a dab.
shot. Yeah, he took a shot.
But I
Now,
did let it coat my whole tongue.
yep.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna
Hit every spot.
I'm gonna do this over my clothes here.
Yeah, you can just.
Do you like hot sauce?
Yeah, he does.
I have like the world's
Okay.
most powerful hot sauce.
Okay, you went.
Okay, just did a. I did a finger. I did a finger thing.
Okay, he
Oh,
cannot.
man.
Just,
Can
I
I
have
do
a
that?
fucking cleaning lady, bro.
Oh my god.
go get some.
You
Oh,
put
'cause
more on
I-
my floor than you did in your mouth.
Lick
God
it.
damn it.
I got
No.
You sure?
Just kidding.
Gosh darn it. I literally was just putting it over my pants so that I didn't do this.
This man invites
And then I
us
did it. He
into
invites us
comic book
into his
store.
home, and we spill stuff on the
God,
floor.
that's not carpet.
I did call him lipstick, which
That-
karma.
yeah. That's all right. He wears lipstick on his spare time.
Now I'm jealous.
Unfortunately,
Can we start a different club?
Yeah, right.
I don't want to be a part of that.
No.
All right. Well, now that we cleaned that up, I will
Just
tell
chapstick.
you that my mouth it's warm. It's hot. I did dab, not as much as he did, but it was.
After the severe burning that happened.
Yeah, it actually tastes really good. You should try it. It tastes good. It's a good
not
taste.
bad.
I'm gonna pass, but
All right.
maybe does this guy have like a website or something?
He does. It's called peppersforchrist.com.
Peppers for Christ. How could I forget?
Yeah, you can't forget peppersforchrist.com.
I always forget the for Christ part.
Yep.
Peppers I have.
Peppers for Christ.
I feel like I'm breathing napalm.
Yeah, it definitely, you can tell that there is ghost pepper in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the heat is not leaving my tongue. You know, it's not. It's just sitting
This
there.
should be like somewhat on video because I feel like I'm laughing at something and people don't know what they're laughing because the look on his face.
He's just like
Well, he's like, it's great.
lean back.
Great.
It's like a breath mint. It's like a really strong breath mint.
Now you're just making it weird. I don't
Yeah.
put like some breath mint on my chicken wing.
Yeah, no. Hey,
Yeah.
but good shout out, Serious Chocolate Smoov and Chappsticc shout out to Peppers for Christ, and this is an awesome hot sauce. Tastes delicious. It's blueberry madness. Everybody go buy it and tell them that Chocolate Smoov and Chappsticc sent you.
I feel like that was way better than my intro. I think we should redo
We'll
it.
redo it. Yeah, we'll redo it.
Now we're gonna have like music
That was
at
good,
the
that was good.
beginning. Just like
So we're here at Collection Comics.
Oh, you're getting better every time.
Yeah.
I can see you growing.
Man,
Well,
so
not
now,
literally.
So how long have we been doing this for? 50 minutes.
50, that's it? Oh,
Yeah.
man, it's
Do you
flying
got
by.
more in you, or you want to keep going? It's up to you.
I keep on trucking for a little bit,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
You keep talking about.
I feel like we're talking about some interesting stuff.
We're having a good time, yeah. So next topic now. Man, what are some comics that people? Maybe we can let some people know some really good comics that aren't those mainstream everyday comics that, like the one that you referred to earlier. So
East of West is a good one. Kind of like a post-apocalyptic, like sci-fi. Like it's like about the Four Horsemen. And I guess like the Four Horsemen are people. They're like superpowered people.
right.
And if they die, they kind of go. From what I can tell, it's not all explained, but they kind of go in their hibernation. And they all kind of come back, like maybe a little different than they were before. But death kind of strays from the other three, and that it's the story of that. Like kind of like it's futuristic. Like the United States still, it's like has like a confederacy. It's like all broken up into like different parts. It's a
Okay.
very cool idea. Very good art.
that's pretty cool.
I know you said like not maybe mainstream, but another really good book that's out right now is
It could be anything.
The Immortal Hulk, which everybody knows the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
The Immortal Hulk is more of like a horror story. Like it doesn't deal with like him and just his rage. Like it's almost like him dealing with like his fragile psyche that's been broken apart over the years, where he's turned into a gray Hulk named Joe Fixit. He's turned into a green monster. He's turned, he already is Bruce Banner, who's this like weak,
Oh, this is
willed like scientist.
the psychology part of who the Hulk is after he went through all of this
Right,
stuff.
and why he did it. Like, he's so scared of his father. You know what I mean? Like, that's why he actually turned into the Hulk for the first time. It's almost like his inner child getting unleashed. And
He's got like 5-6 split personalities up here, including his dad at some point, I think.
Yeah.
And like,
well, he drags all these people into like hell, like his own like personal hell, and his dad's like is almost like in charge of it, and like I mean, it is like.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he can't die. Like that's the other like weird thing is like he almost like wants to die,
but he can't die.
Can't kill him. I mean, they're stripping him down to his bones. I mean, they're using weapons on him. They're putting holes in him, and
but Hulk just regenerates.
yeah,
Hulk
I mean,
always
and
comes
but
back.
like you see him going through the pain of it, and like just
That's
malformed
amazing.
and.
Oh man,
sick.
that's probably amazing artwork too. I can
the
only
artwork
imagine,
is good. Well, it's good for what it is. Like I said, that horror kind of.
Yeah.
It's not like regular superhero. Like
That's
just,
a-
everybody needs like a perfect anatomy. You know what I mean? Like it's very, it's a little darker.
Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty cool though. That's a different twist on a lot of people's favorite superhero,
Absolutely.
right? And everybody's like, "Wow, he's the strongest," and he's just this guy that's. And a lot of people think he's an idiot, right?
Yeah.
So and they did do that whole like. Was that already a crossover? Like, and I don't want to like bring up movies because I know that we
fine.
talked about that, but
I'll steer you back.
yeah. So, well, no, because this is gonna go bring into comics. But you know how like in the new whatever he's like the smart Hulk
right.
or whatever.
They called him Professor Hulk.
Professor
Yeah,
Hulk.
yeah.
Was that in the comics?
Yes. Like,
Okay.
and in the '90s, like he kind of had gone through like the psychological part, not like the horror part of it, but like he talked to Doc Samson, who was a Hulk character, who's a psychiatrist who actually gets gamma irradiated and like super strong, but he's almost like he thinks of himself as like this prototype superhero. So he has like green long hair and he's jacked up.
Okay.
Kind of a jerk.
But he's a but he's a therapist.
Right, he's a therapist, so he talks to Hulk and basically gets him to combine all his personalities into what becomes Professor Hulk. So he's like strong.
But he can actually think
smart.
about what he's doing.
Right.
Wow.
Hulk no
Okay.
need to smash to be happy.
Yeah.
Hulk
Now-
just needs Hulk.
Now, is that the what's the best Hulk? Which one is his best form? Right? What's his?
If I had to pick, I would just pick like the rampaging, like kind of mindless.
Yeah.
Leave Hulk alone. Hulk is strongest one there is. Don't
Yeah,
make Hulk mad.
don't make him
the madder
dumb,
Hulk
yeah.
gets, the stronger Hulk gets.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
That's the best Hulk. But
I like World Breaker Hulk. Man.
well, that's the thing is that when you're starting to get into like individual stories, each Hulk
Well, yeah.
can be better than that Hulk. But if you're writing,
Yeah, I guess yeah.
if you're writing 100 issues of Hulk to make World Breaker Hulk, sooner or later he's just gonna break the world. You know what I mean? Like then it's game over. I mean, you can't make Hulk super smart all the time.
That's
or
true, yeah.
He'll be the smartest and the strongest, and you know, there's just no stopping somebody like that.
Now-
he becomes a maestro. I don't know if
Now I know this is a crossover, right? Because Superman's DC, Hulk is Marvel. Who's stronger?
Well, that actually has happened, I believe.
Has it?
Yeah. There was again in the '90s when the worst comics were being written.
It was a weird, fucked up time for
They
everybody.
had a Marvel versus DC comic where like Batman fought Captain America.
Oh snap!
Batman, but it was voted on to win. Like it wasn't
who was
like
gonna win?
Yeah, so
Oh.
it wasn't like this well thought out story. It was like, oh, we're stuck with this. Like, how do we make Batman beat Captain America?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how do we make the Hulk or Superman beat the Hulk?
Yeah.
I think Superman was voted more powerful, but not as strong. Different, like Hulk, I believe needs to breathe.
Yeah.
And I think Superman like flew him up to space or something like that.
Okay,
I could
yeah.
be wrong on that. It was
enough.
such a crappy
And
story.
then you freeze.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
but Hulk has been written in space before, so
Yeah.
He could have just beaten Hulk into submission. and
Yeah,
just
But
been
doesn't
like,
Superman at one point have like when Superman goes up? Doesn't he have a mask on?
No, Superman
No.
doesn't wear a
Oh no,
mask.
that's Batman when he goes up. He has this
No,
little
Batman
bat
has
mask.
no
Yeah.
superpowers.
Yeah, that's
But-
true. What a bitch.
technically, if I were to say, I would say if like at his like most at ease, like that he could actually be the Hulk without turning back into Bruce Banner. I would say Superman is stronger, but again, the madder Hulk gets, the stronger Hulk gets. So
That's
if
true.
Hulk was like super pissed off, he could probably smash the shit out of Superman.
That's true.
Like, just strength wise.
Yeah, rip him apart, rip him in half. Yeah. Does Superman if you rip Superman in half, could he regenerate?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But he's tough to rip in half. You'd have to like put kryptonite in front of him and then try to rip
And
him.
then rip him. Yeah.
Saw, just kind of start working your way down, man.
He's pretty tough.
You feel this?
I mean, they call him the Man of Steel for a reason, not because
Yeah.
you can just easily rip him in half.
That is true. I did love how, and again back to Moo, where they had the bullet go into his eye and then crush.
That
in
was
his-
like
that was in the.
Superman Returns
Yes.
from
Like
mid 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah, the Brandon Ruth. That was
Yep.
first off. Let's talk about movies for a second.
Okay.
The best movie trailer was that
yeah.
movie trailer.
Oh,
The
yeah.
worst Superman movie was that movie. Like I couldn't have been more let down. Like
Didn't they do the bullet in the eye in the trailer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah.
it's like Marlon Brando in the
Yep.
background, like oh, they're bringing Brando back from the dead, like like Kal-El, my only son. You know, I'm like yeah. Then you see the movie and it's like, hey, I had a kid and I had to go out into space and I wasn't here. And it's like, what is this crap? Like half of the movie was him like just, hey, sorry, I was gone. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I got a kid now. I got to take care of my kid.
Yeah.
What?
It's okay, you can do it. I gotta go by.
Like I thought it was gonna be Marlon Brando for having
Now, who's Superman's biggest villain?
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor is his
The smartest man on DC Earth. So like
Okay.
Reed Richards of DC.
And he is a thug. I see you got him right there.
Oh, that's the worst
holding up a
iteration
piece of kryptonite.
from that movie.
Yeah. That's awesome.
He's the worst Lex Luthor.
And he's just
also
doing this.
touches kids, I believe.
Oh yeah, 100%.
What's that guy's name?
Oh yeah.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin
it
Spacey.
is Kevin Spacey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep, that guy. That molester.
Yep.
Yeah, the worst thing about Lex
TV
Luthor?
toucher.
Kid diddler.
Yeah. And look at him, he's looking at just holding that like that. It makes it even weirder.
How
He's
about
just
I
like,
put this
hello.
in your, like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, Lex Luthor actually is a badass dude. Like,
Now, who was the other Lex Luthor? Well, in the
Oh,
older movie with Richard
I
Pryor.
always forget his name, Richard Pryor. Well, first off, that was the one that he wasn't in. Was
Yes,
the one with Richard
yes,
Pryor.
that
But
was
all the other
good.
ones he was in. Gene Hackman. Gene
Hackman,
Who's
yes.
a great actor. And
Shout out to
little-
Gene Hackman,
Yeah,
right? Yep.
absolutely.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
What? That's Gene Wilder.
Oh, snap, you're right. I just heard Gene and I go, oh,
Not,
okay.
not a lot of genes around nowadays.
yeah,
so
no.
back in the early 80s,
Never
apparently
mind,
growing on
erase that.
trees.
We could cut
Listen, dude,
That's
I
not-
thought Anne Frank was the lady who sat down on the bus for that first time.
I think that's like way
My-
off.
my-
These people can play like Anne Frank and
That's
the
Rosa
blind,
Parks.
dumb, and deaf girl.
You don't even know. I was writing a joke for something about that, right? And I was trying to run the joke off of him, and I was talking about Anne Frank and about how like being on the bus and everything, and he's like, "What did you just say?" And I'm like, "You know what? She's the first person on the bus," and he goes, "That was Rosa Parks," and I go,
He right.
"No." Or no, I didn't. I thought Rosa Parks was Anne Frank, and I thought Anne Frank was Rosa Parks. Because I kept saying like,
some diary or something.
yeah, it was like Rosa. I was like,
Rosa Parks
everybody's
did have
reading
that.
Rosa Parks' diary or something like that. I was like, he's
I'd
like,
love
no,
to
no,
know
she
that.
was on a bus. Yeah. Wrong one, buddy.
He right.
Wrong one.
Well, I think who's the blind and deaf girl that
Helen Keller.
I think people can compare get them confused.
Yeah.
Helen Keller and
So-
Anne Frank.
I honestly
So who was the one with the diary that everybody's reading? Anne Frank, right? Yeah.
She was the one that was stuck in an attic for like a year or two.
Yeah, we
didn't end well. I
We
believe.
can talk about that because that's what a bunch of assholes, right? This girl had a diary,
I would
and that
rather not
like,
talk about some girl that got.
Let's read it.
Oh, you talking about they should make a comic book out of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, boring comic. I mean, if you're a bad artist, absolutely
Anne
make that
Frank.
comic because it probably takes place in the dark in an attic for like, except for the last issue, which is a fucking bloodbath.
Wow, I'm really good at drawing candles.
Yeah.
I got the perfect idea.
Well, that one candle they lit
Yeah.
that 2 years. That's a momentous occasion.
The whole comic is the same picture.
Like every 3 or 4 issues, like they crack the attic open, like throw some food up there.
Yeah.
Today I saw a bird. Just drew one picture of a bird.
Oh man.
Her
bro.
handwriting was terrible.
Couldn't read a
It was
damn
like,
word. This
great
lady
book,
wrote.
nobody can read it.
You
What are
think
you,
a
10?
blind, deaf girl.
Yeah,
right?
she
Don't-
probably
I
wrote
can't
journal on it.
Mute.
She probably wrote journal and everybody's like, or like diary on it, and everybody's like, oh, this is a normal book, nobody could read it.
It's like a pick your own adventure.
Yeah, that's
Like, I'm just
Man.
gonna make this shit up as I go.
Anne Frank. What a bitch. Just kidding.
Better than Rosa
Just
Parks, though.
kidding. Yeah.
They ruined everybody's time on the bus.
Yeah, right. They had to stop the bus.
Now everybody,
Bus was
Everybody's
first off,
trying to commute.
I would love assigned seats on a bus. Just tell me where to sit. Like I always get stuck next to the guy picking his ear, his nose, or.
And this is the other thing. Do you think? Oh, this is not a good topic. 'Cause
Veer back to comic books here.
I was about to go somewhere really dark. I was like, when I was a kid, sitting on the back of the bus was the cool thing.
Remember when they made Captain America a Nazi?
That is true, right? Now,
So much better.
man, that is like they did.
Light raped that chick.
Oh
Man, they did. Oh, that's
Identity
dark.
crisis.
Yeah.
So they started erasing people's brains.
It's like, should we be doing this?
The heroes, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think in every comic, do they do like a role reversal where like the comic book hero becomes evil, or I feel like
Back
they
in the
got
day, they would
touch
do it for like an issue, maybe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nowadays, it's like a storyline. You know?
Yeah.
And like I said, they made Captain America like a Hydra agent, like for 12 issues. Well, not more than that. 12 issues of a crossover. Like he was the main bad guy. It was terrible. But I mean, like if you do it for like an issue where it's like you question, like, is Captain America a Nazi? Like I don't
Does
know.
he?
By the end, they resolve it after an issue or two. Like,
Mhm.
he was never a Nazi. He was just.
But he wasn't Nazi.
Yeah, but now he was.
Yeah, it's like no, I was pretending, guys. Chill out.
He hates Nazis. He just loves Hydra.
That's a weird. That's also a weird guy, right? Like a weird storyline.
Well, the idea of Captain America is like he didn't never work for anything that he had. I mean, he took super steroids.
Yeah, he basically just did steroids before people were taking steroids.
He had the first and best steroids.
You go to the
He
gym
didn't
next door, you can find 30 Captain
He
Americas
was
right
putting
now.
all those guys to shame, though. Like, what steroids are you using? They're all angry on roid rage.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what?
Well, this is the thing, right? Like, they gave him the good steroids, and then they were like, we can't sell this shit. And
Well,
they were like,
that's part of the origin is the guy who made it got killed. Like,
Yep,
Nazis invaded as they made Captain America.
Captain America, yeah.
So now we can never make steroids as good.
Yeah.
Thanks, America.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I was thinking about doing it, but now definitely not. Yeah, I'm not.
Nah, you'll never be Captain America, unfortunately.
No.
Well, unless you're Chris Evans. He did enough steroids where he
he
You
worked
know
it
what?
out.
Maybe
and they
it
did
wasn't-
camera angles.
Maybe it wasn't the steroids. Just get frozen for,
Well, I mean, he was super strong before he got frozen.
let's be real. Maybe those steroids wore off as soon as he left.
Do you
Maybe
think
he
that-
wouldn't have lived being in a block of ice if he
I
had
was about to
super
say, if he
steroids.
didn't have that, he would not be able to live that long.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd all be freezing each other in ice.
Yeah. Now, they did that to a goat,
Okay.
They did it to
Did
a
it work?
goat. It did.
Bullshit.
It did. It did. Now, the goat came out. I think the goat was a little retarded by the end of it. But
I mean, if you freeze all the blood running in your brain.
yeah, yeah.